Hello, myself Sunil R Nair. Here basically we are discussing about one topic, that is currencies, and in this basically we are discussing about the topic is ideas, and in this idea basically the one of the topic we are discussing about this idea basically they got in the mind basically. That was the project manager basically who planned this, and in this project manager they all basically joined, and due to this manager basically half of the IT people basically are sitting at home. Just basically he was basically asking the question basically to the project manager, and that time basically the camera was there in the project manager room basically. At that project manager room basically the owner was seeing that basically, and basically he was asked the question basically, why you are not giving the answer of that particular boy basically. That basically hurt him, and ego basically came into the picture of that project manager basically, which was of Mumbai basically city. He basically told that basically do one thing basically, finish that particular guy. Like this basically they he basically got the idea that we will finish that particular guy. Like this basically he planned one basically. He basically told his person basically, can you please do this basically. Then he told that okay basically I will do this. Then basically he told he basically was staying in the PG basically in Mumbai city in 2000. This is basically 2003 stuff basically which I am talking. In 2003 they have planned in 2003 basically. Like this basically he told that in 2003 basically we have planned this. Like this basically they told that basically in this room basically there were one Maharashtrian person, one Madhya Pradesh person, one Uttar Pradesh person, and one Bihar person, and one of the Malayali was also there basically. He was basically watching in camera basically that they are doing the plan. They are basically doing the plan. Like this basically they done the plan. They executed the plan. Then in night basically they done the Nasbandi also of that particular guy. Like this basically that guy basically was done Nasbandi, and one of the person basically was Malayali person. He told yeah basically he person basically might create problem basically in future basically if he is still alive basically, because in future if he will know that basically his Nasbandi and AIDS basically was done, then basically he might take badala. He might take badla. So we will do one thing. We will kill him that basically. We will kill that particular person. So these all are ideas basically, which on the base of that lots of things basically has happened. Like this, we will do one thing. It might possible that Malayali actually told. He might possible that basically he will take badla. Then he told that yes basically, and then that person basically who got the AIDS and husband, he was also Malayali basically. So just see how Malayalis are basically. Then basically he told that okay basically. So do one thing basically. We will do one thing. We will create. He actually first basically that done the verification basically. They done the verification basically. How many people he know. We are doing this plan. We have done this plan. This each and everything basically they have done the verification. How basically do you know how basically they have done the verification? For example, that person basically was going to meet the one of the girl for marriage. That girl actually was already married. That girl was already married and she was having child also basically, and his husband was also sitting in front of him basically. Like this basically they were the entire family was doing the verification, because that family also basically told that basically okay basically we are also into that plan basically. How basically they done this basically, do you know basically? Like this basically his family also basically got some money basically. They basically got some, they basically having the few girls basically. They basically got government boys to go do the marriage. The government boy done the marriage. Like this basically the soda was done of that particular boy basically. Like this basically they have done the soda, and like this basically the person basically was like this basically they have done the verification of HIV AIDS and Nasbandi. The girl basically was married. The girl was already married basically, and that boy basically was searching for girl basically for the marriage. He went to basically that girl's house basically, and basically he talked to that girl basically. That time basically he was having some doubt basically that girl is some married here basically, because one of the Mangal Sutra was also basically just near to her basically. So I think that time basically she removed the Mangal Sutra by mistake. Basically she might have forget, because but the nishan was there basically of the Mangal Sutra. So it's exact same nishan was there. So he told that basically yes, here he basically have doubts that time. Basically he has doubt that this type of plan basically might be doing by his family member also basically. So brown color hai wo, that is brown color which has generated basically. So like this basically he told that basically yes, here basically that girl basically saw that particular boy, and then basically they basically rejected that boy basically, and they told that basically, no basically we don't like the girl. Like this basically he rejected by 4 to 5 girls basically. All the 4 to 5 girls basically were already married. Just see how the plan basically are done by the same family member only basically, because family member also basically got the money basically. That family member also got the money. They have convinced basically that family member also basically. Just see up to what level the plan is. That is brown color basically, which has generated. Like this basically he told that we will do the marriage basically. Like this basically they told that one of the girl basically told that yeah basically I like that basically, but you don't have the house now basically. That's why basically I am not doing the marriage basically. House basically can be have after some time also basically. But the problem was HIV/AIDS and Nasbandi was the plan basically. Like this basically, if a single plan is also basically going there, the government is getting the information. This all information government was getting it. This all information basically, the boy basically was going to do the marriage with HIV/AIDS girls, and he was going to have Nasbandi. That government was knowing this, because not a single plan in the city basically of Mumbai city basically can be hired by the government basically. They have each and every plan information basically. So like this basically they basically was knowing the plan basically of that HIV/AIDS and Nasbandi, which was planned in the in Mumbai basically, and the boy was basically Malayali. Like this basically just see what are the things next basically happened. And this incident is of I think 2004-2005. Like this basically he saw 4 to 5 girls basically, all basically was actually married basically. All actually was married basically. All was Malayali also. Because that boy was Malayali. Because the plan basically was done by the family member also basically. They have done the conveyance basically. Conveyance means they basically told that basically okay basically they basically told that basically this the person basically who are basically connected with that family member basically, they literally told that this boy is doing that, this that. Like at last basically they also basically got convinced, because if you tell any person basically 100 times the same word, same thing basically, he literally basically tells that basically okay I will do it basically. This is basically called as a marketing policy basically. This comes into the marketing policy. You can say it's a sales. Like this basically entire story was generated basically. Entire story was generated, and this matrix got generated in sky basically. That we will see actually how brown color generated also basically. This everything basically happened in Mumbai. Like this basically the family member also basically was convinced basically. Then basically he saw 4 to 5 girls basically. All 4 to 5 girls basically really they were married basically. They were married. Just to check basically how many people basically is connected with that particular person basically. Is anybody, what people is going to give him information around basically. The girl you are seeing that is already married here basically. Why you are seeing that girl basically? This type of information anybody is giving him that or not, that basically that family member were basically checking it basically. Family member were basically checking. Like this the family member basically checked also basically, and they given the green signal basically, that is hara signal, that now basically you can do the marriage of that particular boy with the HIV/AIDS girl, and you can finish his generation also, that is the Nasbandi also you can give. In next video we are going to see how basically the marriage plan done by the marriage family group and how they basically done the verification. That also we will see in next video.